Hey, what's up, all you fishing addicts out there? Welcome to another episode of the Addicted Fishing Podcast. And today, I'm super excited to do this one because we got one good buddy in town, Oliver Nye.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever done very many podcasts?
Just a handful.
Just a handful.
Yep.
Where was the last place that you did a podcast? Were you? Because I know you travel like all the freaking time.
It was in Florida.
In Florida, sweet.
Yep.
Well, tonight we got Mike Kaplan, Oliver and I. We're going to be talking a little bit just about Oliver's venture and just kind of interviewing him a little bit in a sense to kind of just have him tell you guys like how he got started, why he's doing what he's doing, and all that jazz. But before we do, we got to say thank you to all you addicts out there for coming to our bashes. We finally ended our fifth one. We just did the fifth. Five, dude. Five of those things. We did Vancouver, Portland, Longview, Puyallup, and Fife.
Yeah.
5 freaking locations. You got to come to the last one.
I did, man. It was cool.
Yeah. They're usually a lot of fun. A lot of you guys show up, and we appreciate you guys coming out. So if you've never been to an Addicted Bash, next time we post about them, come show up because they're a lot of fun. They're a ton of fun. So what else? Do we have any other updates? I can't remember. Addicted Lives. We launched some Addicted Lives. So all you people on YouTube, make sure you're putting those bell notifications on because you're not seeing all these Addicted Lives. I don't think that they're coming out every single Sunday. We're putting out an episode. So make sure you got that bell notification on. And I think that's it, dude. I think that's all we need to talk about addicts-wise. I think we're going to leave the whole floor to you. So,
Oh, man.
So to get it started, dude, like, I just want to know, like, when did you start fishing? And why did you start fishing?
Okay. Well, this story's been told a couple times. So if anybody's familiar with my story, you might have heard this before, but I started at the ripe old age of 10. And it was kind of just an anomaly of how I got started in this crazy world that is fishing. And really, I was just a bored kid on a family outing at a local park, and just really had nothing to do that day, and was walking around the shoreline, catching little frogs in the reeds, and just being a 10-year-old. And I came across some old fishing line that was just all tangled up and left, was trashed, pretty much trashed on the side of the lake. And in that tangled mess was a couple of those old snelled hooks. And I entangled, I don't know, maybe 2 feet of it and tied it to the end of a stick I found and flipped over some rocks in a creek and walked my little happy 10-year-old self to the fishing pier where I saw people fishing, impaled an earthworm on that rusty hook and dropped it over the side just because I was that bored.
That's freaking cool, though.
Never even gone fishing. Nobody in my family fish. Yeah, so that was my intro to fishing. And
did you catch anything?
Man, I sat there for about 5 or 10 minutes on that dock, drowning that worm and just kind of daydreaming and just dunk, dunk, dunk. And, just out of pure reaction, instinct, what have you, I went to set the hook, didn't know what that was at the time.
That's
that
hilarious.
old busted line just popped on me.
Oh!
But it was in that moment that just snowballed into this whole lifestyle.
That's so freaking cool.
That's nuts. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a really cool story, dude. And so what did you do? Then you went to your parents, I'm sure, and you started figuring out, like, okay, I got to get some fishing poles, or how'd you, like...
Oh, 1,000%. So, obviously, I was super pumped on that. I was like, man, I almost caught a fish. Like, that was cool.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to catch one. And I told my mom that whole week, because, mind you, I was kind of a really big book nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I still am. And spent every afternoon after school at the time at the public library. What do you think I researched every day that week?
Fishing.
Yep. Absolutely. And
That's
it's interesting
cool.
because a lot of what was in that public library, and I actually just spent some time in a public library in Coeur d'Alene when I was up there for Carl Jochimson's wedding, is a lot of fly fishing, a lot of salmon, steelhead fishing. So a lot of what I ingested early on was actually from the Pacific Northwest.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's freaking cool.
So it's cool to be able to come up to this region and kind of bring it full circle.
Yeah.
And see fish that I only read about.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been a tough few days. We've been getting just hammered with the weather. And all you salmon and steelhead anglers, you know how it goes. Like, it's week to week out here. Like, it can be fire one week and then just trash the next.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's conditions. Yeah, even day by day.
Yeah.
You know
Even
what's
day by
funny
day.
is everybody that isn't from here probably assume that these salmon just jump in the boat,
Yeah.
which I've had happen. Watch.
That's right. That's right.
But that was on Lake Michigan. Those are dumb Pacific or dumb Chinook.
That's a really good video. So yeah, we'll make sure we drop a link in the description down so you guys can check that out.
Yeah, just like you guys said, timing is a huge factor, right? Location's a huge factor. And the time on the water, really,
Yeah,
because even
yeah.
when we were around fish on day one when we shot that Addicted Life episode with Jordan, I mean, Jordan is literally making the first cast as he's making the intro and bobber down.
Gets one.
And I'm just like, oh, it's going to be one of those days. And sure enough, like 0 for 12 later,
Over 12, damn.
I'm still struggling to make the adjustments on the timing and the mechanics because this is new to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm fishing a little bit different setups. It's a whole new world. So you can't skip that time on the water and that experience, and then learning through failure.
Yeah, that's 100% fact, and that's what's cool about. I mean, I think that all of us of anglers, like, we've just evolved, and that's how we've gotten to be great anglers, is through all that trial and error and freaking hard times on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. So now going into so when did it turn into like where it's gone now? Like, when did you start your brand Big Bass Dreams before, or did you have like your own entity? Like, how did that all work where you like started like saying, okay, I'm gonna fish for a living?
You see, that was never a reality. That's not a real thing
Mm-hmm.
from our generation,
Yeah.
right? Growing up, like, there were no high school tournaments, there were no college scholarships, there weren't all these different opportunities that exist now. There was no social media,
Mm-mm.
none of that. You're either like an outdoor writer, journalist, fishing guide, or you fish professionally as a tournament angler.
Yep.
So none of that made any sense in my life growing up until pretty much the onset of social media and the GoPro camera. Because now I was able to capture the crazy stuff that I was living and experiencing and trying to tell my friends about. And if I were to tell you guys some of the things I was experiencing early on, you guys would probably be like my boys and just call it BS. Like, yeah, right, whatever. But little did they know, that put a chip on my shoulder to be like, are you guys serious? Like, why would I lie about this giant bass trying to eat my freaking lure that's this big?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that started. So I was starting to document my experiences and really just.
And where were you putting them? So what was
Nowhere.
it Instagram or just nowhere? You were just documenting?
Initially, it was just for myself.
Okay.
What I really realized early on is I was watching myself through all those mistakes and failures and learning from them. And I can say this with like utmost confidence. I doubt there's anybody on this planet that's watched themselves fish and fail more than me.
That's cool to say.
But dude, there's a lot to be learned from your failures. And what you think,
dude, 100%. I mean, our videos, like that, I literally do that all the time. Like, I go back and I'm like, you can see it. That's right there. That's where I made the mistake.
Yeah, because what you might have perceived or thought occurred is oftentimes totally different than what actually occurred. And the ability to go back and actually dissect it and see like, oh, I dropped the rod tip at that moment. Well, next time I get that opportunity, I'm going to not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or my rod tip's too high, or I stopped winding, or I wasn't winding fast enough. It gives you an opportunity to recognize that failure point and then make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And then see, it's a scientific process. Like,
yeah, no, that's like, really cool.
Okay, once I start making this adjustment, I stop losing as many fish.
Yep.
It's really that simple.
Yeah, that's really
But if you don't
cool.
recognize where the failure is happening, or even realize that you're not paying attention in the mechanics or not aware of what those mechanics are doing and affecting the catch rate, it's just, it goes over your head.
Yeah.
It happens too fast.
Mm-hmm.
and being able to take a step back and seeing what's going on from a different perspective. That was its biggest value for me. Besides showing like, dude, check this out. Like,
Yeah.
like this is wild.
Yeah.
So I stockpiled a pretty extensive library of giant bass, like big largemouth bass. And Southern California, especially at that time, was still like really, really good for 7 to low double-digit fish. And those teener fish were obviously around in a lot of different bodies of water.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pretty unique time.
That's cool. So when did you like take it then to, like, what did you do? You start an Instagram? What did you do to take it to like that next level?
Well, I started showing all this stuff to pretty much my inner circle. And at the time, there had been a couple of big bait, big fish videos that had been done. But it had been a bit of a gap. Like no one had done anything for a couple years at that point, maybe even longer. So my boys were like, man, you got to put together this DVD, because this is when DVDs are still a thing and people were buying and selling DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man, because I've been in and out of the fishing industry, mostly on the retail side, on the sales force side, most of my adult life. So I kind of understood, like, man, if I go in on this, like, I got to go all in. Because, you know, as an angler, and I see it up here, and I really see it in pretty much every little subculture of fishing that I encounter and engage with, is the guys that are good work really, really hard to get that good. Put a lot of time on the water, invest countless time, like I said, but money. They put their jobs at risk, their relationships at risk, their friendships at risk. So when you learn something, when you realize, like, oh man, that bait with those hooks on this line is the deal for this scenario, you don't want to share that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why should you be benefiting from my hard work and my sacrifice and my investment? That's a very common attitude amongst some of the best anglers. So I knew, I was like, man, people are going to be following me, fishing my areas, the lakes I'm fishing, and really more than them catching my fish, it was just the added pressure that would bring. That would make catching a very hard to catch fish even harder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, do I want to do that to myself? It's like, if I'm going to do this, I got to go all in. I got to be more willing to like open up. Because like, if you guys have seen the first DVD we did, Big Bass Streams Volume 1, I felt like I was giving up way too much info and insight just by showing you what I was doing. Not even walking you through step by step, giving tutorials like you guys are amazing at. But I kind of looked at it as if I were dissecting that. And it was a little bit of a selfish perspective, which I think is kind of common. But since then, I've seen value and really enjoyed sharing with others those special moments. But more than anything else, now it's helping them live those moments that they dream of.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't enjoy catching a big fish?
And that's what it is for me with Addicted. That's what it's always been, is just the enjoyment of teaching and passing that on, because I want to see people get just as excited as me. And
That's fun.
you know, and usually there's enough fish for everyone. You know, that's kind of the perspective that I've always had on it, is, you know, and you know, every angler out there, and ourselves included, even though we teach a lot, there's still a lot of stuff that we leave in our bags that doesn't get taught, and a lot of things that, you know, there's a lot.
There's some stuff sitting in that corner.
Yeah, exactly. And
You
so
guys
it's
ain't
like,
gonna get to see.
and every angler should have that, honestly. Every angler should have that. That's your, you know, that's your little advantage that you have, and to help you get out there and catch fish.
So yeah, going back to that, like, threshold. All right, am I gonna do this or am I not? And I decided to do it, obviously. So I had to change my mindset, be a little bit more open, engage with the public. And at the time, this is like the early years of Instagram, and like it literally just became available on like a non-Apple phone. I think I was running like an Evo, some kind of what's it called, Android
Mm-hmm.
phone, right? So this is literally very early in the Instagram game. Facebook had been established for a while, and I was fortunate in that I was documenting everything that I was doing, especially these big fish catches, right? And doing it at a volume that nobody else was, because I also was on this insane run. And that's where the name Big Bass Dreams came from. It's like, man, how do I describe this 7-week period where I catch 17 largemouth, 10 pounds even or bigger? And that's not counting the 7s and 8s and 9s I was almost shaking off because they were the small ones in the schools.
That's crazy.
Like, it was
I
wild.
couldn't imagine.
Well, that's kind of what captivated the audience, right? People are like, "Whoa, what is this?" Like, I'm like, man, I'm just living the dream right now. Like, this stretch is something I didn't even dream was possible throughout my entire fishing career. You know, how do you go from drowning an earthworm on a stick
Yeah, that's insane,
to
dude.
just boat flipping 10s and 11s and looking at them in disgust because they're not keeners?
That's crazy.
Well, and here's the missing part, and this is why what we do is fun, is we get to share with the audience everything in between.
Yeah.
And that character arc, right? That growth arc as anglers, and with that, it's actually a lot of opportunity for us to grow as people.
Yeah, absolutely. Fishing, I think, has 100% shaped me as a person. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
man.
So what's your biggest bass?
It's still stuck at 17 pounds, 7 ounces.
Oh, stuck. It looks like it's like small.
Yeah, there's
17
bigger
pounds.
ones out there.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Maybe not in the density that there was. I think,
Why? Why is that?
well, fisheries cycle, right? They go through cycles. I don't know what the cycles are like in the salmon steelhead fisheries here, but largemouths, I think their lifespans from like 11 to 16 years, depending on where you are in the country, what fishery, this, that, and a third. So you have different generations of fish, lake conditions changing, so fisheries cycle up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And especially you'll see like a boom early on in the lifespan of a new lake or reservoir. Nutrient densities are high. You've got potentially first generation F1 hybrids, and that's a largemouth northern strain bass. And those guys have the highest potential of growing like super big. And then once each subsequent generation that spawns, like that potential drops. So, I mean, that's just a very basic breakdown of the science behind it. But, I mean, the science is a big part of fisheries, man.
Of trying to find them and stuff?
Of just everything, piecing the entire puzzle.
I would never think of it like that.
It's crazy. It's
and I'm sure we have stuff like that we're thinking of in the salmon and steelhead world as well. In fact, I know we are, because we're studying those fisheries like you wouldn't believe. Hatchery plants, and return years, and you got to know
for sure.
And it's not even, you got to know rivers and different species. Yeah, it does. When you're involved in it, you have to just jump in.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, this is getting deep enough to warrant like a 2-ounce twitching jig.
Yeah, right.
Was bass your first like target species? Like growing up and
it's
reading...
the bluegill.
Oh, there you go.
Bluegill and red ear sunfish.
I think that was like everyone's. Mine was catfish.
No, see, actually, the first fish I ever caught was a brown bullhead.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine was catfish with my dad.
There's levels to fishing, and I think that's kind of what's missing in the younger generation of anglers today. A lot of them try to skip all that because it's not cool.
Yeah, they go straight to bass.
Right, but they're doing themselves a disservice, in my opinion, because they don't get to learn from. That's right, the fundamentals. Yeah. The fundamentals of fishing is something I think is greatly ignored.
Yeah,
and it shows. It's just like any other sport. We were just watching some basketball, right? These guys are traveling left and right.
No, I know.
What happened to the fundamentals of the game? Right, put the ball down on the floor before you pick up your freaking back foot. It's not that hard, but I mean, those guys are suffering from the generation of stuff they're watching.
Yep.
Right.
There you go.
And I think that's kind of happening in fishing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that as well. For sure. That's why I always try to, like my daughter, I always take her out to do is to catch little bluegill and stuff like that. Because
Well, it's important, number one, because you're going to get high engagement. Right, we were talking about this on the water. Like, we need some, like, high population, just higher opportunity of engagement with the fish. And that's what panfish
Yeah.
represent.
Yeah.
Right, how do you learn to detect bites when you don't feel that boom? When you're watching that line swim upstream or against the wind current, where your bobber doesn't quite go down, but it's definitely not just sitting
Doing
there.
something.
Right? You're going to get that much more engagement and that many more opportunities to recognize the bite. So, like, oh my goodness, I recognize bites on with 10-inch soft baits that you never feel that thong. And it's from bluegill fishing and red ear fishing and crappie fishing where I'm like, okay, there's something not right here.
Mm-hmm.
Wind down, pop, 11-pounder.
Yeah.
When guys, you know, I'm sure there are other times when I haven't recognized a bite, but I know it's a lot fewer from guys that like skip the fundamentals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to know those. You absolutely have to know those. So now, are you still like out every year trying to chase giants?
I'm always trying to chase giant something.
And that's what I'm wondering. Like, do you still go after largemouth every year? Big ones?
I do, but as I've gotten deeper into this and my experience has grown, I've learned to recognize what my windows of opportunity are. Is I've gone through the 5, 6, 7 year grind straight of like just targeting a giant largemouth. Smallest bait I'd fish is like an 8-inch bait. Like I've done that during a period that, compared to what is going on now, it seems like the golden age. And even then, like that era wasn't as good as the era before. So recognizing that there's an opportunity to go experience other epic fisheries and other epic experiences, I don't dedicate all my time towards chasing trophy largemouth. Trophy smallmouth popped onto my radar the last 3 years. We've done really well.
Yeah, I've seen some giants.
And this summer, trophy muskies.
I've seen some giants. If you guys want to check out these giants that he's catching, Instagram, right? Big Bass Streams is where you post a lot of your stuff.
Yeah,
where else?
well, we post stuff on multiple platforms, and you know, I am not Big Bass Streams.
Yeah, it's
right.
your part
I
of the brand.
Big Bass Streams.
Yeah,
kind of like Addicted, right? Addicted is the whole community here.
Yep.
Right. Addicted is started by you. You are a big part of Addicted, the same way I'm a big part of Big Bass Streams.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm an angler on my own, and so are you. So you can actually follow what I do through my pages, and that's at Oliver Nye on Instagram or the public Facebook page.
Cool. And we'll drop links down below as well, so you guys can check it out.
And we've been pumping out all kinds of stuff on the YouTube platform, and more contributions are coming from other anglers and creators.
Yeah, the YouTube, there's some dope stuff. You guys got to check it out. So, and we're collaborating out here as well. So we're going to be on his channel, so that means you need to check it out anyway.
That's right.
So what's been your favorite fish outside of bass so far that you've gone and chased?
Man, I've got to do some pretty wild things in the last couple years. This year, for instance, we went down to Australia in May and chased one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. It's called a Murray cod. So you take a fish that's shaped like a bass. Imagine if it grew to 6 feet long and 250 pounds.
Oh my god!
And lives only in freshwater.
That's unbelievable.
Down under. And I went down there with trophy bass fishing tactics, mindset, philosophy, tools, bait rods, etc., etc. Applied it my own way, and we were working on that video project literally right now. We were supposed to get a first draft for Marlon and I to geek out on tonight, but my man's slacking a little bit, so we're gonna see that hopefully tomorrow night when he uploads.
Come on, dude!
But it is some of the most epic footage I've ever been a part of capturing. But at the same time, You put me on a school of 13 to 15-inch crappie, and I don't know if you would get a bigger smile out of me.
Just having a blast.
Fishing is dope, man, and it doesn't really matter what it is.
No, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I think, except maybe fly fishing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've done it twice.
It's fun.
I mean, I've done it as well. It just doesn't. I don't know. I just don't have near the fun I do when I'm holding a spinning rod
I can see.
or a bait caster.
I can appreciate the technical elements of fly fishing and the purity, right? And making something as absolutely difficult as possible sometimes is what it seems like.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not the most efficient way to catch a fish. Most scenarios, sometimes it is. But I think I would enjoy the extreme challenge that some of the fly fishing world offers.
Yeah.
Other than that, right now I just want to catch a fish.
Yeah.
And I want to catch a big one. And a fly rod's probably not my best weapon.
What about Kubera snapper? I saw you catch those freaking things.
See, like, what's cool is we get to capture these experiences and share them with people like you. Like,
Yeah.
Did you even know what a
No,
Kubera snapper was?
I had no clue. No
oh
idea.
my
I
goodness!
still
Like,
don't. I'm gonna have to look that up.
yeah, it's an inshore game fish found both on the Pacific and Atlantic coasts, from Florida and like Cabo San Lucas down, like through northern South America. So like the whole tropical zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of 300 plus species of snapper in the world. But I think they're one of the bigger ones, like top 2 or 3 in size potential. They get over 100 pounds. But they're called dogtooth or Kubera snappers. And I went down to Costa Rica on the Pacific side, and we targeted these fish casting surface spades.
Yeah, it was.
And it would go from like just calm ocean fishing over top of a reef, and all of a sudden you see a wolf pack of like these big bright red angry things
Chasing
mixed
it.
in with rooster fish. Like, and you see the videos, they're up on our channel. Like, I'm just frantically like working this big top water trying to trigger a predatory response, and a rooster misses it, and the freaking snapper misses it, and then another snapper
Oh, dude.
gets it, and yeah. So
It was incredible.
it was great, man.
It put it instantly on my, like, I was like, yep, put that one down.
Yeah.
I got to do that.
Yeah. And how guys aren't fishing that style for them like all the time. And the local guys are incredible fishermen, obviously, right? But they're popper fishermen
Mm-hmm.
or like live bait, slow trolling. They're showing those fish the same thing over and over. So what I really enjoy is going into a new area and showing those fish a whole different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing what can happen when you show fish something they haven't seen before, that they've been conditioned to. Like watching those guys work a topwater popper, I'm like, damn, these guys are savages. Like, dude, they literally throw that popper on those fish every day. And I threw something totally different. And they were just like, what is that thing? I had to leave like 3 of them from.
No, they were like,
They
hook
were
me
like-
up with some of those.
They're like, you're not going home with those. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Fair
Didn't you also wreck a 4-wheeler while you were there?
enough. Anyway, next question.
So in your travels, what's your biggest fish?
Thus far, freshwater,
In, just in?
121 centimeter Murray cod. So a fish of a lifetime for most people down under that have been fishing cod their whole lives is 100 centimeters.
Oh wow.
So that's a meter. A meter, I think, is like 40 inches. Right, so it's a little bit over a yard. And a 40-inch fish is big. And I got a 47.638 inch cod, like, and its head was literally this big.
Dude, yeah.
And probably 60, 70 pounds. Like, they eat cormorants. They
Yeah.
eat cormorants and full-grown ducks.
So topwater birds, were you using any?
Stay tuned.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a special fish. And I mean, my biggest fish was some of the bluefin stuff that popped up in our backyard down home in in Southern California.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, we've been catching some really big bluefin tuna, Southern Pacific bluefin tuna.
Yeah, you got one of those on topwater.
Oh, we got a few. Yeah, We got a whole series, Big Bluefin Dreams or Big Tuna Dreams.
Dude, that's why
Top one?
to me it's the best.
Yeah.
There's
Anything topwater, I'm in.
Yeah. I was
am
telling
in.
you we can get coho in Alaska on top water. It's freaking
I think that's why I
Dude.
had trouble throwing some of those bigger baits. Like, I was trying to get into throwing swim baits,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just frog. Throwing a frog.
So
Like,
yeah, tell me more about like your guys' involvement in bass fishing, because obviously coming up here and seeing it firsthand, it's definitely salmon, steelhead dominant.
Yeah.
And you guys have incredible bass fishing up here. I know this because we got supporters of big bass streams up in this part of the country, and dude, they're kicking out big smallies, big largemouth on traditional techniques, and the big bait. You guys get trout, kokanee, smolts, and all of these bodies of water. If you mix those with black bass, they're going to get big.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some giants in some of these lakes. People would be surprised. Like, I got to show you the picture of that big one over there.
I took a picture of it.
Yeah, that was a giant. And there's some big fish. And so I kind of am the same way. I got started like really small, like catching catfish, bluegill, perch. We used to troll for perch, was one of my favorite things to do.
Troll for perch.
Yep. In Lacamas Lake. Well, and that's the story that I'm going to tell you that transferred me into bass.
Okay.
So, and dude, this was insane. I'm fishing with my dad, and I was like I bet I was 8 or 9 years old, and we were in a little like a rowboat, a little aluminum freaking rowboat. We used to troll for perch. He would roll around, and we'd have this little Rapala, and that thing would, and the perch would just crush it. They just eat that thing. So we'd go troll for
little
them.
buggers.
Yeah. So we hook one of these perch, and we get it to the boat, and it's like sitting there on the side of the boat, like splashing around, And my dad's like, "Oh, get in the boat, dude!" And this bass comes out of freaking nowhere, eats the whole perch and my bait, and literally rips the rod into the water. Gone.
Come on.
Promise, dude. Promise. Swear to my life. And so,
where's the GoPro footage?
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, the whole time, I just remember when I was a kid, like, telling my dad, like, I want to, like, how do we catch those? Like,
Yeah,
every time,
catch that?
how do we catch that every time? So I would bug him. And then, unfortunately, I had some circumstances that kind of took me away from family and that kind of stuff. But bass always stuck with me.
Okay.
So then when I got older, I started chasing bass. I started trying to find them in ponds, started trying to chase them. And then that got boring. It got to the point where I was like, I'm just not into it. So then I started trying to find big ones.
Yep.
And that's where it got really fun to me. And that's where I started doing some of the same stuff like you're talking about, trying to figure out like how these bass out here use the tides. Because our water's so tidal affected out here. And that's when you can start figuring out some big bass out here.
Yeah, what I really enjoy about bass fishing is it's an ever-changing puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk into a tackle store. The bass fishing puzzle is almost infinite. The amount of lure options, colors, sizes, etc., it's endless. There's a giant industry built around it.
Absolutely.
And that is unique in the fishing world. Like, even what we've been doing up here, it's been a pretty hard to piece puzzle. But sometimes the bass fishing is like 10 or 100-fold of that, I feel. Especially once you get to the trophy fish.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a catch and release fishery, right? It's like the difference between the saltwater fishery at home. Because traditionally, most of our fish saltwater, it's a catch and keep culture.
Yeah.
Those fish get to make a mistake once. Right?
Yeah.
Our fish get to make multiple mistakes. And they learn from each one. And I think that's what's different about the bass fishing, but that's also what keeps it challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Because those fish are getting a chance to learn and evolve and adapt. The dumb ones get plucked off. They get kept. They die from stress. They die from whatever reasons.
Birds, predators. Yeah.
So that's what makes the bass fishing as popular as it is, I think, is because once you think you figured something else or figured out, like something else changed, and now you're back at square one.
Yep.
Because it is amazing what one small factor can do, whether it's like a bait size or color change, or even like a rhythm and cadence variation in your retrieve. It is wild how an entire population of fish or a population of fish all react to the same variable. I'm sure you guys see it in the steelhead salmon stuff too.
Oh, absolutely.
You get on
Absolutely.
a hot color, right?
There's
a
certain
hard-
colors, certain
A
scents,
rhythm on that
Yep.
snap with the twitch.
a certain rhythm on Twitch. And yep, you're going to find all that thing in the salmon and steelhead world just the same way.
Yeah.
So what's next, dude? Like what's your goals? What's your ambitions? What are you planning on doing with this whole thing called fishing that we love?
I think we are in a unique place in our lives and in this ever-changing fishing industry now, to where my goals are different than when we first started Big Bass Dreams. And now we have an opportunity to positively influence the fishing culture, because there is a culture built around what we all love to do.
Absolutely.
And there's subcultures within the overall culture. And really teaching people that there is benefit in bringing that community together, because whether we realize it or not, every fishery is suffering from some kind of threat
Oh,
to
absolutely.
that lifestyle, right? And watching the bickering amongst people is pretty frustrating, and really showing that the generation coming up underneath us finds value in some of the cultural elements that the generation ahead of us instilled in us.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the last thing I want to see is like the mumble rap of fishing.
No.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that's that's one thing I really try to focus on with our YouTube channel is I really try to set it into a direction that is real. I try to show the real aspect of fishing. I put content on that channel that we may not catch a fish, and you're going to see it from our adventures with Oliver out here in the Northwest, guys. We are grinding. We are going out morning to night, and we're chasing fish, and things just aren't coming together. And we're going to show that, because that's what we really like to do, is show real life and not this freaking Candy Crush.
Need to see that things that are difficult to do and achieve are special
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's things that are being put out there now that everybody has access to a public platform. That there's a whole audience that is missing the point.
Yeah.
Whatever that point may be.
Yeah.
All right. And so going forward, we're trying to show people that fishing is dope enough to where like you don't need to create fake drama. You don't need to emphasize just all that lame, corny crap that we've been watching. Like you've been showing me stuff on TikTok the last and I'm like, bro, like, oh, people find this entertaining. Like, what people? Like, put that person on this couch here so I can grill them and be like, what do you find entertaining about that?
I know, dude. It's hard. I think it's a younger demographic of people. I really believe that, man.
I think that's definitely the majority. But anyways, I mean, you got good taste in music, in my opinion, right? Because substance matters to you.
Yeah.
Lyrics matter to you.
Yeah.
There's a message and a story being told there. And at face value, there are people that hear about this genre of music, take a wild guess at what genre we're talking about here, and they shoot it down automatically without ever giving it a listen.
Yep.
And like, dude, listen to this dude's story.
They put it in a box.
He's telling it to you.
I know.
With passion, soul, and talent. Like, you've got to be a genius to be a modern day poet in some of this hip hop.
And some of these guys, dude, the way they tell their stories, and like, dude, sometimes I'm like feeling like I'm like immersed in this dude's life,
like bro.
And to the point where I like follow everything some of these guys do.
Yeah,
I mean, it is really cool, and I think you hit it right on the nail on the head when you said that, because that's what we've done with Addicted, is tried to build a community. I want to build a strong community that I feel like can help and influence the future generation of
anglers. Because you're influencing people, man. I saw it at the Bash. You guys are doing it as a group in a positive way. Like, it was dope. Like, that little kid, it was his birthday, man. You just like loaded him up,
sang him happy birthday.
Yeah, like the whole crowd started saying him happy birthday, man.
Birthday
yeah, it was wild. Awesome. So continue to do that. We want to continue to contribute positively as well. But it's really just capturing all that dope stuff that fishing affords.
Absolutely.
We had a reality show, and these guys in Hollywood are trying to like push us to do all this corny crap. I'm like, bro, I'm out. Like, I love this game too much to do it an injustice for the sake of attention. It's not even the right kind of attention.
Yeah. That's not worth it.
Nah, man.
It's not worth it. It really isn't. I've said that from the beginning. I'm only going to use and push things that I love and things that I really care about. I can't be bought. There's a lot of people that come to me like, hey, check out this lure. I'll pay you X if you promote it. And I'm like, nah, that lure's whack. Like,
Yeah.
so, and I feel like that's how we're always going to be. So, and I feel like that's why all you guys continue to follow and love us. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. Now, people can see all this new dope content coming out on our YouTube channel, right?
Absolutely, man. It's always something new and exciting. We got a Spain trip coming up for European pike, trying to scratch that off the bucket list now that I got my first wild Pacific coho off that list. And then I'm going back to Australia to hammer them even harder with the things that I learned.
Badass. So we're going to put a link to Oliver's YouTube channel down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, Oliver. Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. We appreciate it, man. Do not forget, if you're on iTunes, Google Play, all those different platforms, Spotify, please drop a review. Drop that review down below and let people know that you love this podcast. It helps syndicate it out there. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the river.